So this is another in our ongoing series of one thing you need to know. So we got some questions. This one is from Jay in Atlanta. How do you use a strengths-based approach at work if your company uses a traditional annual performance review? Yeah, so that happens a lot. A lot of companies still use the traditional performance review. And often those are used to evaluate your performance against last year's goals. And then there's focus on your gaps and development areas and all sorts of stuff like that. So how do you take a strengths-based approach in the context of that? 3 things for you to keep in mind. And hopefully, whether you're a team leader or a team member, you can act on these 3 things. The first is that the focus of any performance review presumably should be actually performance acceleration. It should be to help you get more performance. So the way to get more performance is always to start with and spend most of your time on what works. So a really good conversation if you're a team leader with a team member going, what worked last year? What really worked best? I don't mean just what are your achievements so I can pat you on the head, but what worked? Let's talk about 3 or 4 things last year on the team, with your colleagues, with your customers, whatever it is. What really worked for you? Change follows the focus of your attention. So focus on what worked. The second is there are going to be some things which you might call, in computer language, a high priority interrupt. That's where basically the computer program says, ignore everything else, just focus on that. And in your context, that means there's maybe some things that you're doing that you must stop doing or that are hurting the team right now. And it's entirely appropriate for you or for your team leader to say, what is a high priority interrupt? What should we focus on right now? So a couple of things you're doing right now, you just got to stop. In case you're wondering, the ratio of how many what work conversations should we be having versus how many high priority interrupts, like what's the ratio? 5 to 1. In your performance review, try and get deep into what works 5 times as much as you would on high priority fixes. If you've got it the other way around, 5 to 1, then as a team leader, you may have a person who's brand new to a role, so there's just a lot of stuff they have to fix. Or maybe you're in the wrong role if you're a team member and all you're talking about is everything you should be fixing. Of course, if you're really doing well at your job and all you're talking about is what you need to be fixing, then maybe the team leader shouldn't be focusing on that. Third thing is goals. Goals are often used to evaluate people, to track people, and then ideally, I suppose, to stimulate more performance from people. But here's what we know about goals. They don't work when they're pushed on you from above. They just don't work as a way to get more from you. Goals only work when they are ways to manifest things you value. So third thing is when you get into goals for next year, the only way we know if it's a good goal is not whether it's a SMART goal or a big, hairy, audacious goal or a objectives and key results goal. All of those things are artificial theories. A goal works when it comes from within you, which means the best goals that will get more performance from you for next year are ones that you set voluntarily. That's it. And come prepared, by the way, to think about what are the things that I want to shoot for. Goals shouldn't be used to evaluate you. They shouldn't be used to track your progress. They're only useful as something to stimulate more performance, and they only do that when they come from within. So those are the 3 things that you can do right now, even if your company has a standard performance review process.